to kick it away as we kick off the 2024 season. Ready for the whistle. And the 2024 season underway as UMass possesses to start at Syracuse. First ever visit for the Minute Women here to Syracuse, New York. Orange have won 3 of the first 5 matchups. Only UMass win came a season ago at home for the Minute Women. 2-0 victory, Arnav. They got off to a hot start in that one.
And that was a game that was, for head coach Jason Dowiak, was one of the best and most complete that his team put together. You mentioned those 2 early goals in the first half, and then after that, just all about game management, controlling the things that the Minute Women team could control, and they played the rest of that game in a defensive structure and held out that 2-0 game.
UMass squad that scored just 2.5 minutes into the game against Syracuse last season. Vanderbosch clears the lines up the right flank. Settled down by Ashley Rauch, wearing the captain's armband. Rauch keeps possession for Syracuse. Near side, Eva Oching, one of the new additions. A freshman recruit coming in from Canada. Highly touted recruit out of the Vancouver Whitecaps Academy.
And Oching has done it at the national stage as well. She represented her country in a U17 World Cup in 2022 in India. And she's one of the most mature players on this team. Head coach Nikki Adams says, even though she's just a freshman, she plays with like she's had experience in the college ranks.
Erin Fleury, another captain, wins it back, but gives it away, and a throw-in coming for UMass. Syracuse team, Arnav, that throughout last season constantly depleted in depth. And boy, Coach Adams has brought in a whole lot of new troops. 34 rostered players this season for Syracuse. That jumps from 24 a season ago.
Well, it's just about having players available just in case something does happen. That's where Syracuse got bitten last year.
Switch of play for UMass to the near side. Ashley Lamond, one of the leading scorers a season ago, tries to get the cross in. Syracuse fights it away near side. Ava Uribe wins it back for Syracuse. The Penn State transfer frees up Rauch. Holds up possession near side. It's got to be good for Uribe to see the field tonight. This her collegiate debut, a redshirt sophomore that never played her freshman year at Penn State, transferred to Syracuse, hunting more playing time, but an off-season injury. And so she finally sees regular season action tonight.
And the first few touches really positive for Uribe, moving the ball forward and then finding an outlet out to Ashley Rauch on this near side.
Long through ball, and UMass gets possession back. Jason Dowiak, in his 7th season as the head coach for UMass, said he's hoping to change things up a little bit this season, stepping back off the pressure, willing to sit back and defend, and then, once winning possession back, force the issue. Oching shields it out, and Syracuse has a throw-in.
We can see it there in the build-up as well. UMass doing a great job of staying comfortable at the back, comfortably passing between the center back and the defensive midfield before eventually finding the outlet and the open player up the park.
Oching and Syracuse cleared away, only as far as the midfield. Kelly Pease for UMass. Backs it up, and here is Hannah Parrish. Veteran captain in the back line for UMass. Sends it all the way to the box where Fleury clears it away. And Parrish is first to it. Hannah Parrish, the Australian 5th-year grad student for UMass. And so many of these players that played a season ago in their 4th year for UMass have returned, Arnav.
Yeah, and she's a player who's this whole career at UMass just consistently giving it dependable minutes in the back line. When your center backs are organized and know how they want to move forward and know the team structure, it really helps develop your offensive play moving up the pitch.
Hold up play for Chandler Podolsky. Sends it far sideline. UMass wins the throw-in. Nikki Adams for Syracuse enters her 6th season Made progress in 2021 into 2022, winning season in 22, but then a step back. We mentioned all the injuries a season ago in 2023.
And this is a big offseason for Coach Adams to get the squad in full depth again.
Near side, Lamont tries to cut into the middle, a back heel flick. That locates on the near side, Cardano. Give and go, and she wins the first corner kick for UMass.
Really positive defensive work there from Iba Oching, and she just held back, got beat on the 1-2, but then stayed back and was able to block the cross that eventually came in from Cardano.
Couple of combinations worked there as Racinos got it back to Cardano, earns the first corner kick. Racinos to deliver. Near stick, and Fleury is there to try and clean up for Syracuse. Second ball in, headed away. Keys in the midfield, settles things down.
Come on, Coyle, work it out there.
Shielded out of bounds, and Syracuse earns the goal kick.
Well, Andrew, with 6 new players in the starting 11 that haven't played a minute for Syracuse before, these first 5 minutes have really been impressive of how organized the defense has looked. Even though UMass is moving the ball forward, the defense is sitting back in a good spot and then winning the ball and looking to move forward as they get moving ahead.
We mentioned the Syracuse team going from 24 rostered players to 34 rostered players this season. You see the breakdown here. Transfers all around the map for the Orange, Arnav.
And a couple of really good transfers coming in that can provide minutes off the bench as well. So really, it's not just the starting 11, it's filling out that bench and having options, not just later in games, but also later on in seasons. You can rotate and keep that level high for the Orange.
You saw a pair of freshman transfers, that unusual, but the Nyhen twins, Vida Nyhen and Leda Nyhen, played a season in Canada, so freshmen in eligibility, but they come into Syracuse. Quick stoppage in play on the near side.
And
Ella Curry dealing to what appears to be a bloody nose here in the early going.
And the Nyhen twins had a really positive season in Canada as well. Both of them started over 10 games each. So once again, about building dependability, and also with freshmen coming in, now you've got 4 full seasons to work with them and have them understand the Syracuse offense.
Two different approaches, whether you use the transfer portal or you don't, as you get a look at Jason Dowiak, 7-season head coach as the leader of the UMass squad, and he brought in 0 transfers because he had so many returners as upperclassmen this season for the Minutewomen.
And 14 seniors or redshirt seniors for this Minutewomen side that know the play style that UMass wants to play in.
Turn and go in the midfield. Podolski swings it far side, searching for Racinos. She runs it down and backs it up. Cross coming in for UMass, and the header floated away by Syracuse. Uribe tries to track it down. Possession on the near side still with the Minutewomen. Cardano. Here's Lamont. Back to Cage, and Oching forces her all the way back to the midfield line.
The Minutewomen once again getting forward, but then running into a wall of Syracuse defenders that aren't letting them get close to the box in those dangerous goal-scoring areas.
Worked out of bounds for a Syracuse throw-in. Maya McDermott wins it for the Orange.
And McDermott, another player who suffered an injury last season and now is back fully healthy for this year. You mentioned the transfers coming in that help build out that roster depth. It's also about getting those players that you have that are injured back and healthy for a new season.
It's funny, when we talked to Coach Adams, she said it's not 14 or 16 new faces, it's really 18 when you consider the injuries. That ball just crept over the end line, and so Syracuse avoids any danger, and a goal kick.
And that's where UMass is really dangerous, working down those flanks. They've got a lot of speed on the outside wings with Caroline Dixon and Ashley Lamond. So Syracuse needs to be aware of those outside backs, where they are on the pitch, where they can force those wingers out on the touchline like they just did there.
Coach Dowiak said this is always a fun matchup. He loves playing against Syracuse because these are two teams that really value possession, trying to use the wide areas of the field. Rauch battles for a header with Pease in the midfield. UMass finds possession far side. Give and go, unsuccessful. did not take a touch off Syracuse, so the Orange have the throw in again.
You can see kind of the game plan that Syracuse has for the star midfielder, Bella Racinos. Anna Croyle steps up and kind of man-marks her right in the middle of the pitch, not giving her any open space, because this UMass team really relies on Racinos receiving the ball and turning upfield and creating those goal-scoring opportunities.
In the back for Syracuse, Grant is first to clear. Flory tries to hunt it down, but good defensive work on the back line for the Minutewomen. UMass this time searching for the through ball. Kate Murphy give and go on the back line, and Syracuse again sends it up to the midfield line, but no further.
That was almost dangerous there from Kate Murphy, but it shows the trust that the captain has with the center back pairing in Anna Croyle alongside Kylan Grant, just to be able to be comfortable playing the ball back, even though there's defenders making a push forward and applying some pressure on that back line.
10 minutes here at the SU Soccer Stadium, still searching for our first shot on goal. UMass does have one corner kick, but nothing to show on either side. You'd imagine first game of the regular season, both teams trying to figure their way out. Rauch spins back in the midfield. McDermott. Back to Rauch. And the Orange possess. Grant to Oching and back to Grant. And now comes the pressure from UMass, forcing it all the way back to Vanderbosch. She clears her lines, and a flick on from Uribe. McDermott tries to hunt it down. And a first touch of the game in cage for Bella Mendoza. Mendoza plenty comfortable with her feet. Left-footed boot into the midfield. One there by Syracuse, it's Gabby Wisbeck. Another freshman coming in from Maryland. And now the Orange send it all the way back to Vanderbosch again.
And Coach Adams really wants to get Vanderbosch involved in moving the ball forward, kind of as that key starting point for the Syracuse offense to build off of. Saw it on the earlier possession where the ball goes back to Vanderbosch. She's able to play it forward and find a foot in Uribe. And that leads to a half chance for Syracuse with McDermott running onto it.
So many times last season, the Syracuse goal was under such heavy pressure that you really couldn't play out of the back. Syracuse trying to use Vanderbosch to jumpstart the offense as Oching loses the header out of bounds. Hold up play, slight shove in the back, and Syracuse wins it back away from Podolski. Murphy and McDermott can't spin away from trouble far side. Parrish up top for Dixon. She loses it. Not a ton of smooth possession early on, Arnaud.
And Andrew, I think it's just a moment of being in the first game of the season. You want to work out how you develop these offenses and how you want to move the ball forward. Last year, we saw a lot of UMass pressing high, and they went after the ball in these attacking zones. And sometimes that bit UMass back, because then if a team was able to pass around it, they'd be left outnumbered at the back. This year, a lot more structured from the Minutewomen with their 4-2-3-1 formation. Those two holding midfielders have been really pivotal in these defensive chances.
And Uribe might be in, all alone on the back line. She fires and scores! Ava Uribe, her collegiate debut, and Syracuse strikes first.
And how about that for your first collegiate game to get on the score sheet? And in what a big moment to open the scoring for the Orange. Takes advantage of the miscued pass forward from Syracuse that eventually gets deflected back to her. And as she's running through, able to strike it with her right foot and find the bottom left corner past Mendoza.
Giveaway in the back, Uribe capitalizes. I'm sure she was dying to see regular season soccer. And just 13 minutes in, she gives the Orange the lead.
And it's those half chances that you turn into goals where these teams set themselves apart, and Syracuse able to turn that chance into a goal, get a lead. How important is that for Uribe and the Syracuse team?
13th minute goal, and the Orange in front to start the 2024 season. In Syracuse, it was 2-0 Minutewomen. Instead, the Orange flipped the script early, and Uribe back on the defensive end.
And Andrew, I think that's just a testament to how impressive this offseason has been for head coach Nikki Adams. Take a team that last year struggled through injury and some really tough games, and now in the first game of the season, you go out, you take an early lead. How can you keep the pressure on?
That first hunt of pressure up top from the Syracuse number 9, Mook Galbus. North Carolina transfer that comes in from the Tar Heels team. One of 7 transfers out of Chapel Hill after last season. Tangled up in the midfield, Rauch wins the battle and locates Uribe. Rauch works with Oching near side, and she gets it to Galbus. Fleury loses it in the midfield, and UMass can go the other way. Kate Murphy, though, the tap away. Stops any possible counterattack. Sets up Uribe with space. She tries to keep possession, but UMass takes it away.
She like stepped on me.
Uribe, a 4-star recruit out of Sammamish, Washington. Came all the way to Happy Valley Penn State. Did not play her freshman season. Chose to transfer into Syracuse, and last year a leg injury kept her out for the entire year. And now in the 2024 season opener, 13 minutes in, Uribe strikes first for the Orange.
It really came against the run of play. The Minutewomen were playing confidently out of the back. It was just that one loose touch in the midfield that sprung Uribe free, and then from there she just took a couple of touches, composed herself, and found the back of the net. That's exactly what you're asking for out of your forwards. If you're Coach Nikki Adams, now expect to see Fleury get more involved in this midfield trio of Syracuse, of Fleury, Rauch, and Wisbeck. Get on the ball a little bit more and try and push through the other side with McDermott.
Orange now try to protect the lead, and that one sails just wide. A volley attempt in the middle of the field.
Well, there it is. You get Racinos in some space and get the ball down to her. Excuse me, I'll stand corrected. That's number 9, Chandler Podolski, who has a good volley with her left foot. And it just flashes wide of that right post. Vanderbosch dove the right way. Looked like she had it covered if it was headed towards the goal.
Podolski just caught the outside of the woodwork. A foot away from equalizing here. Just over 15 minutes in, and the first sub comes into the game for Syracuse. Kate Murphy replaced in the back line. Julia Denning, the sophomore from Remsen, New York. Sienna transfer sees her first action with the Orange.
And a really successful season last year for Denning at Sienna. 16 starts, 17 appearances, 4 goals, 2 assists. She's a player who's listed as a forward, but head coach Nikki Adams says that she can play just about anywhere on the field. Right now, she came in and looks like she's going to play a little bit of that midfield role and maybe even drop into the back line a little bit.
Quickly onto the ball there, and she earns a Syracuse free kick. Now just one shot for either team, and some nifty footwork in the back line. The freshman Anna Croyle showing off the moves. Fleury with time to turn. Erin Fleury, the leader in almost every stat category a season ago. Goals, assists, points. She was the penalty kick taker for Syracuse. Really a do-it-all midfielder that even pushed up to the front line at times when needed.
And really this season, this preseason, she did really well. Scored a goal against Colgate and a goal in their first opening preseason game against Albany. So she's in form right now and is healthy for the start of this 2024 season, which is a big addition for Syracuse to have her fully fit.
McDermott loses it, and Dixon has it tackled away out of bounds. Attacking throw-in on the far side for UMass.
That's Anna Croyle again getting involved in the defensive efforts. The freshman being physical, getting the ball out of harm's way.
Racinos loses it in traffic and right back to the Orange. Some signs of attacking possession now in the last 5 minutes for UMass after the Orange struck 13 minutes in from Ava Uribe.
It's all about response now for head coach Jason Dowiak. Can this team respond to giving up an early goal? After last year, they scored 2 early goals of their own against the Orange.
Another foul in the midfield. This time goes against Cardano, charging through the back of Uribe. Coach Dowiak said he did see some fight in the second of 2 exhibitions in the preseason for UMass. Both of these teams comfortable in the first. Syracuse 5-0 over Albany, and UMass 5-0 over Central Connecticut. Minutewomen trailed twice in the second exhibition. Came back to tie 2-2 against Brown. Far side run for McDermott. Scanning in the midfield. Turn around and a centralized pass. Uribe again flicks it back post, and the tap in goes. Uribe to Rauch, and Syracuse doubles its lead.
Well, it's the exact opposite of last year. Last year, 2 early goals for UMass. This year, Uribe scores the first, assists the second for the Orange to grab a 2-goal lead. It starts with Ochi getting the ball into McDermott. McDermott with some great work moving inside. And then yet again, another deflection. Uribe finds herself in the right spot and plays it across goal. And in the end, Ashley Rauch last year scored a goal. She scores a goal in the opening game of 2024.
And how about the vision from Uribe there? Not to take the shot, she already scored, and she sets up her teammate.
Well, whether it's a pass or a shot attempt from Uribe, it has the perfect amount of speed to just, even if it misses, Rauch is able to run onto it and put it in the back of the net. Uribe has had a great start to the game, a goal and an assist in the first 20 minutes of her collegiate career.
A dream start for Uribe, a dream start for Syracuse in the 2024 season.
Scored in the 20th minute by number 4, Ashley Rauch.
And again, Arnav, a little bit against the run of play. UMass had started to build possession, and a deflection, and the Orange capitalized. 2 shots, 2 goals.
That's all you could ask for is, for this Syracuse team, you may not be building out of the back like you want to, but when you get those opportunities to move forward and capitalize on the Minutewomen's mistake, Uribe doing really well both times, getting in goal-scoring positions. This time it's Rauch to tap it home.
Almost a complete role reversal from last season's game when 14 minutes in, UMass was up 2-0 and held on to that lead to win. This season, 20 minutes, and Syracuse has a 2-0 lead itself.
And I don't expect Syracuse to change how they're playing. They're playing really well, organized defensively, then knowing how to move the ball forward and take advantage of the UMass mistakes.
Why would you? Orange win another throw in the attacking half, and another substitution coming for Syracuse. Mugalbas exits in the number 9. After her first 20 minutes in a Syracuse uniform, Anna Rupert comes into the game for the Orange. Rupert headed into her junior season, played in every game last year for the Orange. 10 starts with 2 goals, 3 assists. McDermott working back on the defensive side for Syracuse.
And that Rupert substitution really shows you how much depth this Syracuse bench has when you have a player that played so many minutes last season to be able to bring her on midway through the first half with fresh legs and kind of be another dynamic force in this Syracuse offense. That's just a testament to this Nikki Adams coach team.
Well, Coach Adams was smiling ear to ear when we talked to her 2 days ago about all the weapons at her disposal and so many players that she said could deserve starting time, and they've really tried to take the focus away from who gets the start and instead focus on what you can contribute when your moment comes. Vanderbosch calms everybody down on the back line for Syracuse.
The good thing for Syracuse, even though UMass has had possession and been able to move forward, Vanderbosch hasn't been tested with a shot on goal yet. There was a one shot from Chandler Podolsky that just grazed the outside of the right post. She was diving for that one, looked like she had it covered. Other than that, it's been business as usual for Shea Vanderbosch in the back.
Vanderbosch clears her lines and sends it out of bounds up the left sideline. Last season for Syracuse against UMass, Vanderbosch, 2 goals allowed, just 3 saves against the Minutewomen. Yet to be called into action tonight. Junior from down the road in Lancaster, New York. Vanderbosch led the saves category last season in the ACC. Her goal was peppered with shots, and she stood the test plenty of times. 50 more saves for Shea Vanderbosch than any other ACC goalkeeper across the course of the regular season.
And part of that is just the fact that it was hard to take her off the pitch when she's playing so well and making the saves that she needs to make. Sure, the goals against last year for Vanderbosch wasn't the best. Around 2.6 goals against per game. When you're playing the likes of those really strong teams in the ACC, UNC, Duke, Florida State, over week in and week out, Vanderbosch stood the test, especially against Florida State.
Well, we already talked about 7 ACC teams in the top 25 preseason poll this season, so plenty of tough opponents on the schedule down the road for Syracuse. I'm sure Vanderbosch would be happy to see a few fewer saves this season, a few less shots on her goal. Searching ball up top for Podolsky, and she can't handle. McDermott again getting in the action defensively, and Oching now spins away. Searching for Rupert with her first touches into the game. Rupert again, switches the field over to the near side for Rauch. Just a little loose on the touch, but Ashley Rauch controls for Syracuse. The Orange do lose it now. Near side Lamont trying to clear away, and the Orange pressure suffocating up top. All the way back, draws cheers from the Syracuse bench as the Orange swing it all the way to the far side.
Two freshman defensive starters for Syracuse in Croyle and Oching. And to have that confidence in the young players and to have them play like they have, Croyle and Oching have been 2 of the best defenders from both sides, really being able to hold this defense locked in at the back, not allowing UMass to get those shots on goal. And for Oching, she's moving the ball forward as well in a positive manner, moving Syracuse up the park.
Croyle locates Uribe, tapped away, and Syracuse keeps it on the throw. Julia Denning sends it far for Rupert. She spins away from one. Rupert to the goal line. Searches for the cross, tapped away in the back by Parrish. Anna Parrish trying to start the counterattack for UMass.
A great offensive possession for Syracuse. A late run into the box from Fleury. She was wide open if the ball got to her.
And now the Minutewomen try and run in transition against Syracuse. On the far side, more defensive work from Oching, and she draws the foul.
Like Coach Adams said, experience showing from Oching. She's just a freshman, but knows to hold off the player, and as soon as she feels that extra push from the back, goes down and wins the foul for the Syracuse side.
Coach Adams said Iba is 18, and she feels like she's 25 with all the experience she has. We already documented her international experience playing for the Canada U17s in the World Cup a few years back. Traveled all the way to India. Canadians knocked out in the group stage in that U17 World Cup. Flashing header on the back line. Syracuse keeps possession. Juliana Ryan called for the foul.
That's McDermott on the far side, just aware of where she's at on the pitch and knowing that she doesn't have to go up and challenge that because she feels a pressure from Ryan behind her. Does a great job to win that foul.
Uribe in the midfield, whiz back, a loose touch, and it's taken away. Spin and a give and go in the midfield. Again looking for Podolski. 1-on-2, and Syracuse forces the trouble, nearly causes the takeaway. Ryan settles it down. This time it's McDermott. Turnover, and Syracuse with some numbers on the attacking side. McDermott holds it up, trying to swing it near side, but Rauch's run was just too far in front, and the Orange settle it back.
And if you're Syracuse, you don't have to force that ball. It's a great look for McDermott. She sees the run on the near side, but with pressure bearing down on her, just turns it around, keeps possession for the Orange. And Syracuse with this two
ball, searching for Fleury. No Syracuse head in the vicinity. Tackled away by Uribe. And it's out for a UMass throw. Minute women go quick for Racinos. She's off and running past Rauch. Racino space. A10 midfielder of the year last season. Trying to locate centrally. And a volley over the crossbar. The freshman Amelia Bloom with a first look at goal.
Well, it starts on the near side. Racinos able to get her head up and to find that pass to Amelia Bloom. And then as the ball falls back to Bloom, just takes it a little bit too high and catches the wrong side of her foot as it travels out for a Vanderbosch goal kick. But that's the first time Racinos has been able to get in a little bit of space, and you can see how much damage she can do when she can pick her head up and assess the field going into that penalty box area.
Bloom, the freshman that Coach Dowiak highlighted as the name to know that he was really impressed with in her work in the preseason, coming over from the Arsenal Academy. Said that she's great finding the back of the net. 3 goals across the first 2 exhibitions for Bloom. And boy, UMass could really use past Vanderbosch to get back in this game. Pair of goals in the first 20 minutes here at the SU Soccer Stadium for Syracuse. Now 30 minutes in, and on the backs of Ava Uribe, a goal and an assist, and Ashley Rauch's goal, Syracuse has a 2-0 lead, and Ava Uribe comes out of the game and receives a high five and some instruction from Nikki Adams.
And even though you take off the player in Uribe who has a goal and an assist, you don't drop the level. And that's what's different about this Syracuse team this year. Lisa Auden, one of the captains of this Syracuse side. Coach Adams says that even when she comes off the bench, she's a game changer and someone who can really push the team forward, gather attacking opportunities for this Orange side. So even though Syracuse has gone to the bench and made a couple of substitutions early on, the level hasn't dropped for the Orange, and that's what's so important about this team this season.
Auden, the senior from Oregon, Wisconsin, said to be an energizer bunny by her coach and a real game changer substitution late into halves to try and create an offensive threat. She'll chase up top for Syracuse as the through ball locates Podolski. Hold up play to the far side, and the cross comes in, intended for Racinos, and Syracuse clears it as far as Parrish. Podolski tries a shot, and it's blocked away, and here is Auden with her first touch into the game. Good work back from Lamond, who gets it away from Rauch and holds up the Syracuse counter.
That's really the first time that the Syracuse defense has looked a little bit unorganized as UMass bore down on goal on the far side. The ball popped out right around the top of the 18-yard box, and no Syracuse player was around it. Thankfully, Kylan Grant able to get a block on the oncoming shot, and then Auden able to turn it forward.
UMass goes to the bench as well. Another freshman, Amanda Schultz, comes into the game. Freshman out of Malmo, Sweden, another international recruit for Dowiak. So Schultz will hold down the back line. Free kick coming for Ella Curry and the Minutewomen. Curry, one of 4 captains for UMass, wears the armband. Cross comes in from Curry, headed away, and the volley attempt rolls well wide of Vanderbosch's cage. Not a clean hit from Lamont.
And once again, it's the Syracuse defense being organized. UMass does get another shot towards Vanderbosch, but those are shots that you will take if you're the Syracuse defense. UMass getting opportunities close to goal, but nothing that's really looked dangerous from this Minute women's side.
UMass now 3 shots to Syracuse's 2, but the Minute women yet to really give any danger towards Shea Vanderbosch in goal. The one shot from Podolski that grazed the outside of the post on the volley from outside the 18, but other than that, really nothing that will get stress going in goal for Vanderbosch.
Those are shots you're okay with if you're Syracuse. It's from outside of the box. You've got a really good netminder as well.
Come on, keep her there.
Podolski up top, one-on-one, and it's poked away. Anna Croyle has been dominant in the center back role. Freshman in her debut with the Orange.
Maya, throw it.
Here's a deflected shot and a second corner kick coming for the Minute women.
Hey, Paul.
Well, Anna Croyle has done it all, marking Bella Racinos and then getting involved in tackling Chandler Podolski on the far side. The first corner wasn't too great from the Minute women. It was cleared away by Erin Fleury. But a chance here with just over 10 minutes left in the half to maybe get another look towards Vanderbosch and test her a little bit.
Pair of subs come in ahead of the corner kick. Lamond and Racinos out. Pincus and Nia Hislop into the game. And it's Pincus with the left foot in swinging corner. Vanderbosch is there to collect. Inside her own 6, right at the front post.
Well, that's all you can ask for from a goalkeeper. You always tell your goalkeeper to own the 6-yard box, and Vanderbosch does exactly that. It hits her palms, and she sticks onto it and is able to win possession back for the Orange off the corner.
And now Syracuse tries to shift the momentum into the attacking third. On the far side, Ochin sets up McDermott. One-on-one, the cross deflected out, and a first corner kick of the game coming for Syracuse. Set pieces, a real dangerous opportunity for the Orange with all their height.
And Oching does extremely well to move the ball forward, shakes off a couple of UMass defenders, and then finds McDermott for the crossing opportunity. A good deflection from UMass.
Syracuse sends Rauch over to the corner. Anna Croyle up into the box at 5'10", the defender trying to get on the end of this one. Rauch the in-swinger. Dangerous opportunity. Croyle just missed the header outside of the 6.
And Croyle found herself in some really open space. Just one quick cut in the box, and she lost her marker and had a free header, just grazed the top of her head as it bounced wide, and then eventually off the head of Gabby Wisbeck.
After the corner for Syracuse, time to say hello to another transfer for the Orange. Julia Koval, sophomore from Stockholm, Sweden, comes in after spending her first season of collegiate soccer at Gardner-Webb, scoring 2 goals in 15 games a season ago.
And once again, it's a young transfer that has some time to develop in the Syracuse offense for the upcoming seasons. There's a player who can make an impact in these late moments. Fresh legs in the final 10 minutes of the first half. Really crucial for this team. You see it with Liesl Auden chasing after those balls, really able to get the press a little bit more organized for this Orange side.
Syracuse dropping a few more numbers back to try and defend. Cross comes into the top of the 18, intended for Hislop. 1-on-2, trying to keep possession, and she does so. Back to Macy Graves. In swinging cross, tapped away for Syracuse. Kylan Grant first to it. 50-50 in the midfield, and it's won by Emma Podolski. Podolski twins up top together now for UMass. Long range shot, nothing to worry about for Shea Vanderbosch.
And once again, those are shots that Syracuse will let UMass have 25, 30 yards out. You've got Vanderbosch in net to deal with it.
Minute women sitting back a little bit more in formation, and so Syracuse tries to work it out from the back. Vanderbosch back and forth. Kyle and Grant. And now to the far side, Croyle.
Cannot make a decision.
Grant over to Croyle again. The freshman spins away from Pincus. Calm, cool, and collected under pressure in the back.
It's twice now from Croyle that she's just able to get the ball away from the defender with just a quick pullback and able to turn into space. It's an effective move for a defender, and she's done it twice, showing the confidence that she has with the ball in possession at her feet.
Long ball worked out for Syracuse, but the Orange nothing to speak of for now as Rauch wins it again. A loose touch from Emma Podolski. Podolski, the only player on this UMass team that has transferred in. 2 seasons ago from Bryant. Coach Dowiak tried to recruit both her sister Chandler Podolski and Emma out of high school, but only got one of them. Emma came in, and after 2 seasons at Bryant, Emma transferred in to join Chandler.
It was 2 really successful seasons at Bryant for Emma Podolski. 33 appearances, 8 goals, 7 assists, but now able to play with her twin sister at UMass.
Liesl Auden searching on the near side as her pass intercepted. Game starting to slow down in the final 10 minutes of this first half. That saw both goals come in the first 20. Ava Uribe in the 13th minute and Ashley Rauch in the 20th for Syracuse. And the Orange on opening night out in front 2-0. Just under 6 minutes to work off until halftime.
And a slower game really favors Syracuse with that 2-goal lead. Able to set up possession a little bit in the back end and move it slowly forward. Don't want to be too direct in these final 7 or so minutes in this first half, because then that allows UMass to counter forward and get scoring opportunities.
Set piece in the midfield for the Minute Women, and it's a strong header away. Julia Denning, the first to it for the Orange. Out as far as the free kick taker, Ella Curry, who now works her way all the way down the flank and backs it up. High lobbed cross. And again, Syracuse is first there with Anna Rupert to head it away. The Orange winning every aerial attack right now, and Rauch works it all the way to the midfield line. Something that Syracuse will have an advantage in almost every game the Orange play this season, height. Hughes taking advantage right now, winning almost every header over UMass. Podolski cut through for Hislop, and she has it tackled away. Denning slides back to take away a crossing opportunity for the Minute Women.
And like we said, versatile from Denning. She came in, played a little bit up top, dropped to the midfield. Now she's playing right back for the Syracuse side, just being available anywhere on the pitch for head coach Adams.
Third corner kick. Foot of Ella Curry set to swing it in. Comes in at the front post. Vanderbosch pushes it away through traffic. Rupert gets it away to the near sideline and just sends the long ball all the way back to the keeper, Bella Mendoza for UMass.
That's a really hard ball to get to if you're Shea Vanderbosch. Going over Hannah Parrish, who's really tall, standing right in front of her in her eye line. Vanderbosch tracks it back, gets 2 palms on it, and is able to push it away and out of harm.
One of the better threats we've seen all first half from UMass. Again, back to goal for Podolski. Spins away from Grant. 2 more Syracuse jerseys come to her. And she crosses it off a deflection. Did Vanderbosch keep it in? Yes, she did. Syracuse avoids surrendering a 4th corner kick.
This time Podolski working into space, gets it onto her left foot. It takes a little deflection off of Gabby Wisbeck, which takes the sting out of the ball and allows Vanderbosch to react down to her right and keep it in play, keeping possession with the Orange.
Flick on header from Rupert. Syracuse throwing.
And like you mentioned, Andrew, that height really coming into play for Syracuse. Head coach Adams says that she doesn't want to recruit players that are shorter than her because she wants to win these headers because they're so important to moving the ball forward and gaining possession for the Syracuse side.
And what is it for UMass that you think needs to change to get more threats up top attacking?
Well, I think for UMass, it's just about connection in the final third. They've done a great job of being organized at the back and moving the ball through the midfield, but it's in the attacking third where things kind of fall apart for the Minute Women. They've got a couple of shots on Vanderbosch from really far away. I'd like to see them try and get a little bit closer. And you have to think, the two goals for Syracuse came off of deflections on the back for this Minute Women defense. They weren't goals that were worked around. It was just opportunities that Syracuse took advantage of.
Still just the 2 shots that Syracuse has, and both have found the back of the net. Late substitute Delaney Stevens into the game. Another transfer coming from UNC Greensboro after 4 years down in North Carolina. Stevens helping Syracuse try and work into halftime with a 2-0 lead. Just 2 minutes away from doing so. Perhaps one last chance for either of these teams. UMass still stuck back in its own defensive third. Oching and Croyle, 2 freshmen, get it back to Vanderbosch. Big right foot through it, all the way up for Rupert. Settled down by Rauch. And she's happy to clear it all the way down to the corner.
1 minute remaining.
Coming up on halftime, and you can't think of a better first 45 minutes if you're Coach Adams and Syracuse. 2 early goals, flipping the script from UMass's first ever win against the Orange last year, where the Minute Women scored the first 2 in the first 15 minutes. And it took Syracuse just 20 to get up to tonight. One last hope for UMass. A through ball searching for Podolski, and that's sheltered away to the corner kick.
UMass has to hurry here. Just 16 seconds left and counting now for the Minute Women to try and get this ball in.
A quick corner kick from Curry, in swinger, and it bounces all the way through the 6 and out of bounds.
And that one is dangerous for Syracuse as it bounces right on the top of the 6. Quick corner kick, from UMass, and Syracuse able to stay unharmed.
So nobody touches that last corner to really contribute up front, and a year late, she's dominating.
Well, it's injuries throughout all of last season, throughout the entire Syracuse bench. That was the story last year. This year, it's a completely new look, and it's the Orange taking advantage in the first half.
Off and running in the second 45 minutes at SU Soccer Stadium. Syracuse 2, UMass 0. The Orange in the all-whites, UMass in the all-maroon. And Syracuse starts with possession first.
And immediately you can see what head coach Jason Dowiak was saying during the halftime break. They wanted this UMass team to get after Syracuse higher up the park, win the ball back a little bit higher, and create better chances moving forward.
Loose possession in the midfield, and UMass comes away with it. First attacking opportunity for the Minute Women.
Come on, Bells. Come on, Bells. Yeah,
UMass trying to get back in the game, and a through ball just wide up top. Syracuse scored first, 13 minutes into the first half. Ava Uribe on the score sheet, and then she assisted Ashley Rauch in the 20th minute, and those the 2 goals so far tonight. Just underway in the second half with the Orange up 2-0.
But the opening minute of this second half, UMass looking dangerous early on. A great through ball worked forwards towards Vanderbosch. If someone can get onto the end of those, that's a really dangerous scoring opportunity for the Minute Women.
And really the last 20 minutes of the first half, a lot of possession for UMass, just nothing to show for it. And as you mentioned, Arnav, struggling to get the ball inside the 18 and create chances. Heavy tackle on the far side, and that brings the first card out of the pocket.
Just a little bit of frustration there for UMass. You're down by 2 coming into this second half, and A harsh tackle there on the far side. Uribe as well as Julia Denning there, and it's Denning who goes down.
So Lamond picks up the yellow card just 2 minutes into the second half here at SU Soccer Stadium. Heavy challenge through the back of Julia Denning. Sienna transfer that came in as a substitute in the first half starts on the pitch for the second 45. Long ball up top, just misses the head of Uribe. In college soccer, you can sub out and come back into the game. You get one sub out and re-entry in each half.
It'll be interesting to see how far down the bench head coach Nikki Adams goes for Syracuse. 19 players who can keep that level high and keep fresh legs going into this second 45 minutes. I assume we'll see a lot more frequent subs in half number 2.
Julia Ryan tries to connect on the near side with Amelia Bloom, but Syracuse takes it away. Heavy touch in the back, but Kylan Grant cleans up her own mistake and finds Uribe. Scanning the field, Uribe in trouble, and she keeps possession all the way through the midfield. Heavy slide tackle. Bloom works it away. Challenges flying in to start the second half.
And that's 2 players who are playing their first collegiate minutes in Ava Uribe and Amelia Bloom. Bloom doing an excellent job there of not giving up on the play. Even as Uribe worked past a couple of players, Bloom tracks her down and puts a slide tackle in and forces Syracuse to just stop the momentum a little bit.
Bloom, the freshman from England, did not get the start in the first half, but she comes out on the field in the second half. She led the scoring in the first 2 exhibitions for UMass with 3 goals in those 2 games.
And head coach Jason Domiak compares her with Melissa Kostler, one of the best players to ever come out of UMass, saying that she reads the game just like Kostler does. Kostler now playing for the German national team.
A different type of vision up front. First corner kick of the second half, 5th of the game for UMass, and it's Racinos to insert. And swinger, Vanderbosch calls and punches it. Syracuse clears it. Oching working on the far side, and Syracuse surrenders a throw-in. But Vanderbosch has been active off her line on all 5 corner kicks.
And once again, you see the game plan from the Minute Women. You want to get Hannah Perich in front of the goalkeeper, block her vision a little bit, but Vanderbosch has been tracking the ball out of the air with excellency.
Hold up play up top. Podolski tries to spin. She locates Ella Curry. And now a lob ball over to the far sideline. Great touch. And an in-swinging cross, header in, and it just flutters wide off the head of Racinos. UMass tracks it down in defending. And Bloom works her way down the goal line, has it stripped away. Curry at the top of the 18 floats it, an open header, falls to the feet, but just rolls away from Podolski. More possession up top early on in this second half for UMass, who keeps the threat coming. 50-50 at the top of the box, 1 back to Pease. UMass switches fields. Racinos trying to cut in on the goal line, and she earns another UMass corner.
Well, how many chances in quick succession there, Andrew? 4 or 5 good looks towards the Syracuse goal. Now, once again, just about finding that final pass towards the net as Racinos. Good hustle to get to that ball on the end line and win it out for a corner.
Kicked it off of Kylan Grant, and Racinos will take the corner for UMass. Righty swings it in. At the near post, it's flipped on backstick. Lamond, an open shot blocked away. Another corner kick coming. Julia Koval was there to at least escort it away for no
reaction there. Anna Croyle actually gets the first header, but it falls right to UMass. And good response from Julia Koval to get out and get a foot on it.
Racinos from the other side. Now an outswinger.
Yeah, I saw it hit me.
Hey, you screaming is not changing the situation. I need you to look at me so we can have a conversation, okay? You take a spot, you take a spot. Once the ball's kicked, listen, once the ball's kicked, then we play, okay? Thank you.
Hannah Parrish, Shea Vanderbosch. Little heated inside the 6 on the goal line, as Parrish will try and shield away Vanderbosch on this outswinging corner kick. Racinos delivers.
What is that?
Near the spot. A loose ball atop the 18, and Syracuse first there. Denning racing down the near sideline. Work back in defense from Juliana Ryan in transition, and she swings it back to the goalkeeper, Bella Mendoza.
I want to go back to that corner interaction. What a great look into what kind of goes on with the referee and the goalkeeper. You have to protect the goalkeeper in most circumstances, but also the attacking player is given a right to some space wherever they want to be. So there's that conversation that the referee has saying Parrish has to pick a spot, Vanderbosch has to pick a spot, and kind of stick there and not really get involved with the hands and shoving a little bit in that box.
A little fiery, but that's the competitive nature. Vanderbosch trying to hold her position on that corner kick. And she's been good to push a number of corners away from danger.
But right now, Andrew, 8 minutes into the second half, it has been all UMass in the opening stages of the second 45. Chance after chance, those 2 back-to-back corners, and continuing to push the ball into dangerous areas for the men and women. It's only a matter of time before they finally get some good looks on Vanderbosch closer to the net.
UMass dominating in possession in the first 7 or 8 minutes here in the second half. Trying to find a way back into this game. Syracuse still up 2-0, and a loose touch rolls out of play on the far side.
And unfortunate there for Ashley Lamond, who had this shot earlier. That was blocked by Koval on the corner. She's been a bit of a factor in the second half, did pick up the yellow card, has remained out on the field for the Minutewomen. Had another great look towards the goal, just one poor touch took it out of play.
Lamond, one of the veteran players in the attacking side for UMass. One start away now from her 50th in her collegiate career. First signs of possession for Syracuse. The Orange finally get it across midfield with the ball. Coach Adams clapping her hands on the sideline. Despite the 2-0 lead, it can't feel all that comfortable, Arnav, with the start of the second half, fully in favor of UMass.
And if UMass can get one, it's all about momentum in these next 45 minutes. The Minutewomen get one, apply more pressure, the chances for 2 become even more likely.
Where will that first possible goal for the Minutewomen come from? That's the question that Coach Dowiak is asking right now on the sideline. Ryan. Pressured by Fleury, and now Galbus a chance to race it down against Parrish, who just shelters it away. Syracuse finally showing a high pressure line, nearing 10 minutes into the second half. Fleury shoved down and armed through the back, and a free kick coming.
Once again, that's not really a spot where you have to commit the foul if you're Amelia Bloom. Fleury's buried down on the end line. If you can just force her to take a bad touch, it's possession for the Minutewomen. Instead, it's a really dangerous opportunity on the free kick for the Orange.
Essentially working as a corner kick. Uribe the first one over it.
Get ready to step out to the top.
In swinging ball from the goal line. All the attacking weapons up. Uribe swings it in, punched away. Top of the 18 off the fingers of Mendoza. Syracuse keeps possession. Back to the back line, Koval. Uribe scanning, and she misses the pass to the far side.
The former Penn State transfer who has led the Syracuse offense to the 2 goals.
Fingerprints all over this game with a goal and an assist. Kylan Grant runs it down in her own defensive third. Denning. Searching up top. UMass first to it. Schultz. One-on-one on the far side, and the freshman wins the battle, but only as far as Uribe. Ava Uribe seemingly everywhere on the pitch right now. Spins back and floats it inside. Galbus not there.
You can't ask for much more if you're head coach Adams out of Ava Uribe, winning the ball back as it's rolling out of play and getting another offensive opportunity.
And this time it's a corner kick that Uribe earns for Syracuse.
Yeah, we got 2 going.
Difference maker in the game so far. Nearing the 60th minute in the season opener at SU Soccer Stadium.
Bella, slide 1 step. I'll tell you where to go.
Syracuse gives out the Player of the Match award after every match, and if this result holds, I've got a feeling I know who will win that award at the end of the night for the Orange.
Contact!
In swinging corner coming for Syracuse, and the front post header away over to the corner, and a throw-in this time for the Cuse.
Well, something to note on those corners, usually it's Kate Murphy who takes it for the Orange, but with her on the bench right now, it's Gabby Wiesbeck, the freshman, stepping up and taking those set pieces.
Murphy subbed out early in the first half, within the first 20 minutes, and has not re-entered the game.
Go 5. Yeah, get on her, Bill.
Kate Murphy, the graduate student, defender out of Plano, Texas. Long throw in, flicked away by UMass, and now the Minute Women try and spring a counter. Can Podolski get on the end of this? She cannot. Switch of play, searching for Fleury, but not close for Syracuse. Another takeaway in the midfield. UMass trying to get possession back and start applying pressure towards Shea Vanderbosch and company. Oching with some defending to do. Comboing with Fleury. And Fleury is away down the near side. Scans for Galbus, out of bounds.
Andrew, it's been a positive response. Those first 8 minutes or so were really dominated by the Minute Women, getting chance, letting the pressure come to them, and then moving forward on the counterattack. It seems like Syracuse has figured out the high press a little bit from the Minute Women and are able to pass around it like you just saw from Oching and Fleury there.
And now in the midfield, Bloom turns and goes and lets one go, and Vanderbosch comfortably swallows it up. Another long-range attempt, this time off the left foot of Amelia Bloom.
And it's a little bit closer to the goal. It's a dangerous opportunity.
Chest down for Oching, and now a through ball searching for Fleury. Parrish there. Curry tries to slot one in up top for Podolski. Only as far as Bloom, and Oching blocks it away. Podolski wins it away from Oching, who deflects it out of bounds. Another UMass corner kick.
And Oching hasn't been off the field for the Syracuse side. Coach Adams trusting the freshman to do the defensive work down the left flank. She started the game at the right back spot. She's moved over now to the left side.
Here comes the 8th corner kick for UMass. Front post, flicked on header, is booted away. Mendoza all the way across midfield to lob it back in toward the 18. Podolski backs up and can't have the touch to control. to get in towards goal for Syracuse, and instead Rauch just boots it into the UMass bench. With that, a couple subs coming into the game. We mentioned Kate Murphy. She's headed back on for Syracuse in the all-white. Replaces Denning for Syracuse. A pair of subs coming into the game for UMass, too.
Well, Julia Denning did a great job filling in wherever she was needed. Played a little bit in the midfield and then found a home there at the right back spot, moving Eva Oching over to the left. She also drew the yellow card on UMass's Ashley Lamont.
Only card out of the pocket so far tonight. Racinos tries to hold up, clipped away. Galbus a chance to turn and run. Sprinting down the near side, can't connect with Koval. Towering header in the midfield, Dixon. Now Racinos, her pass is cut away. Uribe.
Substitution for
Flurry.
number 14, Kate Murphy, for number 18.
And here is Kate Murphy. Back to Uribe, strong hold-up play, and the Cuse can switch the field. Instead, back to Murphy. Uribe and Murphy, give and go. Murphy centers it, Fleury just out of her reach. Back to Fleury, she's in, she puts it, save. Some contact, Syracuse hands go up. No whistle. Mendoza eats up the shot from the 6 off the foot of Fleury.
Fleury did a great job there. Misses the first ball in, but then reacts to the second one.
Rauch in the midfield, trying to charge on towards the box. Pease. Taken away. Wisbeck off and running down the center of the pitch. The lefty crosses it away from Fleury. Schultz can clear the line. Out of bounds off the foot. And here is that Fleury opportunity.
Missing the first one, and yet again, it's another deflection off of a UMass defender that finds its way to Fleury. But Hannah Perich, I mean, what a defensive stand there. Getting physical, sliding to the ground, and forcing Fleury into an uncomfortable shot.
Syracuse bench was calling for a penalty kick. Instead, we play on. And a few more subs into the game on both sides.
Substitution for Syracuse, number 15, Maya.
Koval wins it back. Grant. Vanderbosch.
Substitution for UMass, number 13, Grace Tinkas, for number 33, Ashley Lamont.
Rauch keeps possession for Syracuse. 1-on-2, and she earns the whistle.
Just great play to hold on to the ball there from Rauch. Went through the legs of one of the UMass defenders. Found herself in a little bit of space before feeling the pressure and the contact and winning the foul.
Free kick from the halfway line, on the ground for Fleury. She turns away from one, and now two, lets one rip. Comfortable in the end for Mendoza. You give Erin Fleury an inch of space, she'll take advantage.
And now you've seen her move up top. She's playing as a striker for the Syracuse side. So expect the chances to come for Erin Fleury now that she's the main player up top.
First chance inside the 18. This one from well outside for Fleury. Tries to float it past, but right at the chest of a sliding Mendoza over toward the near post. Syracuse has worked its way well back into this game in the second half. 25 minutes to play. Still the 2 goals inside the first 20 minutes have the Orange in front. And after UMass dominated to start the second half, Orange have a foot back in possession. Coyle the shield. UMass bench asking for some contact, instead just a goal kick for Syracuse. Syracuse afternoon, 1 o'clock first kick here at SU Soccer Stadium as Maine travels into town.
Andrew, all about momentum. You take momentum from one half to the next, but you also take it from one game to the next. So if Syracuse closes out these next 25 minutes on a positive note, gives them a lot to look forward to when Maine comes into town on Sunday.
Great to have you with us tonight on ACC Network Extra. And we hope you'll join us again on Sunday afternoon. Second of 5 straight for Syracuse at home. And they'll face a 1-0 Maine squad after a 4-0 victory today at Lemoyne for Maine. Fleury with Mendoza out of her goal. Keeps it up as it bounced back over her head. Locates Rauch. Captain to captain. And a centering feed just away from Uribe. Brings Mendoza off her line. UMass trying to pick the pace up here. Under 25 minutes to play at SU Soccer Stadium. Still nothing to show for the Minutewomen on the scoreboard. Long ball searching for Dixon. Rolls all the way inside the 18. Murphy kicks it away.
There's the experience from Kate Murphy, the grad student. Knows that there's pressure behind her. She can't turn around and play a ball forward. You'll take your chances with a throw-in rather than conceding the corner.
Throw-in comes into the 18 for UMass. Centering cross over the head. Pincus trying to get on the end of it. It rolls all the way out. UMass will have 6 days off after tonight's match. Minutewomen back in action next Thursday at Army before returning home next Sunday to host Rutgers.
And whether this result holds or not for the Minutewomen, it's been a really positive second 45 minutes, or I should say second 25 minutes in these opening 25 minutes of the second half. A lot of positive play, moving forward, getting those corners and getting those chances towards Vanderbosch. Just needing to find that last final touch in to really free up this offense.
Ryan out, Graves in for UMass. Rather the other way around. And now a floating volley is flicked out of play, took a deflection. Syracuse defense unsure about that call, but it will result in a corner kick for UMass.
It's Pincus again, and sounded like it did take a deflection off of the knee of Anna Croyle.
How about corner kick number 9 for UMass? Racino swings it in. Headed over the crossbar. That's the closest the Minutewomen have come.
And another great look on a set play for the Minutewomen. A lot of players up around that penalty spot area crashing down. And this time, it was Juliana Ryan who got that head towards goal, but just flashes over the crossbar. And Vanderbosch not tested again.
Shea Vanderbosch 20 minutes away from a possible first clean sheet of 2024 after Syracuse held both of its exhibition opponents scoreless. $5-0 over UAlbany, 1-0 over Colgate in the preseason for the Cuse.
Syracuse, number 8, Vida Nyhan.
Ava Uribe exits. Still the difference maker with a goal and an assist in the first half. Receives a high five from her coach. Vida Nyhan into the game for the first time tonight. Freshman out of Markham, Ontario. Nyhan twins are on the team. Vida Nyhan into the game. Haven't seen Leda Nyhan yet tonight. Both of them spent a year playing college in Kingston, Ontario with Queen's University before coming down to play in the U.S. with Syracuse. Canadian recruitment on the Syracuse soccer level continues to be strong as Aaron Forey can't get on the end of that. The Nyhan twins, 2 of 4 Canadians, 3 of them new if you include Iba Oching on this year's squad. Think about Lizzie Ann Prue was with Canada in the Olympics this year. On the men's side, Levante Johnson, a big piece in the national championship 2 years ago. Kamal Miller has also seen action with the Canadian national team, Syracuse alum.
H, you gotta be aware, 26.
Orange throw in deep into the attacking third. Kate Murphy will come all the way up from the back line to take it.
I'd like to see Syracuse take a couple chances at goal here when you have this 2-goal lead. It's never going to be comfortable.
Push that line,
If you can get 1 or 2 more chances on goal and attack a little bit more, it'll help settle down the defense as well.
Fleury back past the back defender, so offsides whistled for what I believe is the first time tonight on either team.
And once again, it's just discipline, really good showing from both teams, knowing where they're at on the field, all the attackers staying on side.
Assistant referees have stayed free from work here tonight. First time the flag has had to go up for an offside. UMass trying to test Syracuse in the last 20 minutes here at SU Soccer Stadium. Orange came into this game 3-1-1 all-time against the Minutewomen. But the last matchup a year ago at UMass in favor of the Minutewomen, 2-0. Syracuse takes it away far side. Fleury can't hold it up. Schultz for UMass. Swings it for Parrish. Plenty of space on the back line as Syracuse retreats. Now McDermott gives pressure and a long searching ball headed down by Murphy. Crouch is there and she takes contact through the back and goes down.
These final 17 minutes of the second half, going to see a lot of that. UMass has to be physical, has to kind of stick their nose up a little bit into the Syracuse offense, and the defensive lines apply more pressure, win the ball back because they're chasing this 2-goal lead.
Syracuse happy to keep the ball on this side of the pitch. Fleury the chest down, tries to find McDermott. Instead, Juliana Ryan in the middle of that pass. Still only a couple that have really threatened Shea Vanderbosch's cage. Latest header from Grace Pincus on the corner was close, but over the bar. Volley in the first half from Emma Podolski. Just flicked off the outside of the crossbar. Couple of subs coming into the game. Chandler Podolski back in for UMass. Syracuse sends Julia Koval off after she plays the first 30 minutes of the second half. Delaney Stevens takes her place. Julia Denning waiting to come on, and now she will. Replaces Ashley Rauch, who sports the captain's armband and jogs off to the Syracuse bench. Orange now 15 minutes away from closing out an opening night victory over UMass. If you're just joining us, 13th minute goal from Ava Uribe on a deflection that found her one-on-none in the back line for Syracuse. And then she got through again and set up Ashley Rauch, who just subbed off 7 minutes later. And 2 goals in the first 20 minutes has been the difference tonight.
And even since then, Andrew, it's been 12 shots now for UMass, but nothing has really looked dangerous except for that one recently on the corner, and there was one on a volley. Other than that, Vanderbosch not really tested.
UMass crests double digits now in corner kicks as Pincus inserts. Right on top of the 6, headed back post and out of bounds.
And once again, it's Juliana Ryan getting another chance on a corner. She had the one that flashed over the bar just a couple of minutes ago. This time finds herself right on the corner of the 6-yard box, trying to flick it to the far post, and it just flashes wide of the goal.
So 10 corner kicks tonight for UMass. And UMass hasn't lost a match with double-digit corners since at least 2015. But the Minutewomen really haven't provided a ton of aerial threats off the corner opportunities.
Number 32.
Back in the back line, a dangerous pass, and it's flicked off the outside of the corner post and out of bounds.
And how does that not go in for Chandler Podolsky? She's right in front of the 6-yard box. Shea Vanderbosch comes out, but is a step too late, and this last flick just goes wide of the goal area, and Vanderbosch just a little late out there. Podolsky unlucky to not have that one on target.
Kylan Grant went down right in front of her, and that left Podolsky unmarked off a feed from Bella Racinos, and still nothing for UMass. The wait goes on for the first goal in 2024 for the Minutewomen. Safe to say, I think that is now the best chance of the game, and Podolsky misses it just wide. Denning tries to hold it up. Syracuse keeps possession. Switching the side for Fleury. She has an opening and locates McDermott. One-on-one against Parrish, the leader of the defense for UMass, and a second defender comes. And it's won by Hislop on the back line.
Really good work there from Nia Hislop. Gets the first tackle, Fleury makes a run, and she positions herself perfectly to make that second touch, and again, intercepting that pass. Hislop really pushing this UMass team forward.
Nia Hislop sets up the attacking options. Podolsky, far side. Here's Amelia Bloom. Crosses it into the middle. And it's headed away as far as Bloom again. And now Murphy clears it straight away. Curry. Graves. Hislop cutting down the right flank. Swings it back. Dancing with it. Graves. Long cross toward the back post. Headed away. Towering header. Again, it's Anna Croyle for Syracuse. At 5'10", the freshman dominating in the air on the back line.
It's just about composure on those headers. You track the flight of the ball, you get up and you push it away from danger, and Croyle has done that time and time again. Corners, crosses, set pieces, really standing tall for this Syracuse defense.
Bloom can't get on that one. And Syracuse again possessions. In tight quarters on the far side. The Orange work away from it. Oching centralizes. Far side Murphy with plenty of green grass in front of her. And a sliding tackle. Hislop again in the center of action. Flying around the pitch.
Talk about effort for Nia Hislop. Time and time again in these past couple of minutes, seeing her name called into action and delivering for this Minutewoman defense.
Trickling toward the 80th minute at the SU Soccer Stadium. Denning, she has open room, and she curves the shot, fisted away. Destined for the top 90, and Mendoza got there just in time.
Well, there's a reason Denning scored 4 goals for Siena last year. You get her in these open spaces. She's not afraid to take a shot, and what a save from Mendoza up and to her right and away from the back of the net.
fingertips to keep the nail in the coffin out for now.
There you go. Chen, don't shift your foot. Stay on that line, bro.
Syracuse corner.
Yep.
And that never threatens.
There's that discrepancy on set pieces. Syracuse only 3 corners. UMass has double-digit corners time and time again. That allows them to get different looks on corners, and you've seen it these past 2 corners for the Minute Women. Juliana Ryan has found herself with a wide-open header or a chance to get towards goal.
Fleury, a little push in the back in the midfield. Couldn't quite get away with that one through the back of Ella Curry. Parrish sets up. UMass sends numbers all the way toward the 18. Last 9 minutes, and UMass hunting at least 2 goals here at the SU Soccer Stadium. A night with plenty of possession, but not a lot of firepower up front. Podolski heads it back. Grant away. Still in the air. And again Grant, and now Croyle. Falls for Bloom, top of the 18. Croyle knocks it away. Denning made to work up top for Syracuse. Now Nyhan pursues. Floated cross for Bloom. Touches it down, and she can't possess through traffic. So many numbers back, clogging things up for Syracuse. Last touched by the Minute Women. Syracuse goal kick, and another sub coming for the Orange as Uribe enters, headed back up top to try and ice things away for Syracuse. First goal scorer on the season with the assist on goal number 2. Uribe back in for Vita Nyhan.
And because it is Syracuse, the leading team, substituting under 15 minutes to play in the game, the clock does stop for the Orange. Game management is going to be a huge thing in these final 8.5 minutes. Syracuse needs to make sure that even with UMass pressuring and continuing to force the ball into the attacking zones, they have to stand tall and manage the seconds as they tick away.
That one of the new rule changes. Plenty of discussion in the offseason, and now in a tie game or with the lead, if you sub in the last 15, clock will stop until the game resumes. With no stoppage time in the collegiate game, you want to make sure that you can avoid any time wasting if possible. 8 minutes to work with, and trickling down for UMass as Podolski tries to fetch on the end, and she runs through the back of the Syracuse defender. Croyle earns the free kick.
And once again, we've said it time and time again tonight, Andrew, Anna Croyle is playing like a veteran. Feels the pressure from Podolski, goes down through contact, and wins the ball back for the Orange. And once again, it's all about the seconds. How many more seconds can you tick off the clock if you're the home side?
After the first 10 minutes or so of this second half, the Orange have done well to keep the pressure away from Shea Vanderbosch. And UMass certainly came out on the front foot out of the locker room, but Syracuse has been equal to the test. Happy to shield this 2-0 lead with under 10 minutes to play.
Now the urgency really picking up for UMass. Every single touch they're looking for. The Minute Women want to get forward and get these attacking opportunities. It's attacking by volume now for the away side. How many chances can you get, and how many of those chances can you turn towards goal?
Deflection sets up another chance, another corner.
Syracuse has to look out for Juliana Ryan. These past 2 corners for the Minute Women, she's found herself with a wide open opportunity to get something towards Vanderbosch.
It's Racinos to start the corner again. Centering feed, and it's headed away. Rebound is put back in and deflected up over the crossbar. Denning the first header. Parrish couldn't quite put it on frame.
And it starts with the Syracuse defense being organized. You get the first ball away, then you react. The volley from Bloom, it found the foot of Hannah Parrish, but Parrish just couldn't react to it. That shot came in with so much pace that all she could do was deflect it and hope for something to go positively. Instead, it goes up over the crossbar.
McDermott has it tackled away. Murphy collects. Uribe back to Murphy. Up top searching for Denning, but late contact through the back of Murphy. No advantage for Syracuse, so a free kick.
It's now getting physical these last 5 minutes for Syracuse. Got a whole season ahead of you if you're the Orange. You want to match the physicality, but also be aware of how last season went with the injuries and make sure that you're staying healthy in these last 5 minutes.
If you weren't with us in the first half, Syracuse has upped its roster from 24 players to 34 players. Next year, the new roster caps will limit you to 28, so the Orange will have to come back down for the 2025 season. But for now, Coach Nikki Adams is enjoying the depth off the bench. A whole host of subs, double-digit subs tonight for Syracuse.
And once again, it's about building experience. You've got a really young core of players that are getting important minutes. Croyle, Oching have played really well on the back end. You think about Ava Uribe even, who's just a redshirt sophomore with 2 more years left to play for the Orange after this season, getting these valuable minutes against a top team in the A-10.
Uribe a little bit too physical, and then trying to stop the free kick. She picks up the yellow card. First card issued to a Syracuse player tonight, and it stops the clock. Syracuse picked last in the ACC, now a 17-team conference. You add Cal, you add SMU, and you add the reigning runners-up in the NCAA tournament. A chance from range, and Vanderbosch keeps it in play. So Stanford, number 2 in the preseason, joins the ACC, and some shoving in the back. Vanderbosch is tossed down to the turf. Nia Hislop, as a yellow card goes to Vanderbosch, she's upset, and a yellow card to Hislop as well.
Well, Vanderbosch keeps the ball in the back corner, dives on it to kill a little bit more time. Hislop trying to come in late, makes contact with Vanderbosch after she collects the ball, and Vanderbosch reacting to that one.
So Vanderbosch not happy with the late contact, and then a 2-hand shove. Coach Nikki Adams is not happy. A yellow card to each player. And now we'll go to video review.
Once again, that late contact from Hislop is where the issue is initiated. Vanderbosch dives on the ball and has control of it well in time.
That's so crazy.
But then Hislop comes in with the extra contact, and after that, things kind of escalate between the two players.
So our head official first has a word with both coaches, and now we'll put on the headset for the video review.
Play has been paused for video review.
I'm interested to see what they are reviewing here, to see if Hislop really did make too much contact with Vanderbosch.
And it's not that first contact, although that might have made Vanderbosch mad and it started it, but it's that shove that could create some problems and possibly could see Hislop sent off.
And in a moment like this, when you're chasing a game for UMass, you want to be physical and you want to go after the ball, but you have to do it in a smart way. And unfortunately, Hislop gets a little bit too physical with Vanderbosch, and the two players end up in a little bit of extracurricular affairs.
So our head official, Brandon Marion, is checking it out, still with the headset on. We already heard on a corner kick some extracurriculars with Shea Vanderbosch and Hannah Parrish, who were in each other's faces earlier on in this second half. Made it about 86 minutes. pretty clean game, only a card aside, and this latest extracurricular contact has drawn, as of now, a yellow card for both Nia Hislop and Shea Vanderbosch.
And the first thing you look at is where Shea Vanderbosch's hands are. They're fully trapping the ball because Hislop comes in and gets a touch on the ball first while it's in control of Vanderbosch's hands. And then after that, as things continue to get a little bit more physical between the two, you saw Vanderbosch react, get the hand up near the chest and head area.
So the initial call on the field was a foul on your player, right? And the yellow card, and the retaliation was the yellow card. I'm going to stay with that. I saw it. I didn't see a punch. I've watched it a couple times. Let's go. Come on, get ready.
So they will stay with a yellow card for both players. This one close to being decided. The last thing you want to see for either coach is to see one of your players get sent off. So just a caution, a yellow card to Shea Vanderbosch and a yellow card to Nia Hislop.
I think that's a fair decision. The contact initiates that first yellow card for Hislop, and then the retaliation from Vanderbosch leads to the extracurricular activities. And with just 3 minutes and 45 seconds left, if you're Syracuse, it's all about maintaining composure. UMass is going to throw everything they've got in these next couple of minutes.
After the brief stoppage, we're back underway, and Vanderbosch sends it straight into the UMass bench. Hislop asked to retreat before she throws the ball back in. Parrish sends a long ball forward. And some contact through the back of Bloom. Foul whistled on Colin Kratt. And a dangerous set piece. About 8 yards outside of the 18 coming for the Minutewomen.
So many options here for this team that has looked dangerous on set pieces. You can take the direct shot, you can try and work something low on the ground, or you can clip it up to the back post because you're off center just a little bit. If you can get someone running to the far side, a lot of things that the Minutewomen can do with this ball. Dangerous free kick here for UMass.
Grace Pincus standing over it with the left foot. It's Racinos with the right foot. Seems like Racinos will take it. Racinos misses wide right. Tried to bend it up over the wall. Couldn't quite put it on target.
And if you're UMass, no one else you'd rather have on a free kick that close to goal. Racinos gets it left of the wall, but just couldn't curve it around enough to test Vanderbosch.
Clock stops before Vanderbosch puts it back in play for the goal kick. We documented Syracuse picked 17th in the ACC preseason poll. UMass picked to finish 4th in the A10 preseason poll. 6-time reigning A10 conference champion St. Louis, number 12 in the preseason rankings in the country. St. Louis, obviously, the preseason pick, as you should be if you've won 6 straight conference tournaments.
St. Louis really sets the bar for the 8-10 alongside Dayton, who's another really solid program. UMass is consistent as well in the top 3 or 4. They made a run to the A10 final in 2021. A lot of those players that were part of that run are still playing for this UMass side. They've got a lot to build on, a lot of experience in the postseason for this Minutewomen side.
Final year for UMass in the A10 before the Minutewomen move to the MAC. They open A10 play back in later September against St. Louis at home. Syracuse will open ACC play at SMU 2 weeks into September.
We'll talk about a conference trip. You're going all the way to Texas for a conference matchup in the ACC. That's just the landscape of college athletics now for the Orange. A lot of away trips that'll take you to California or to Texas.
So Dallas, the first site for Syracuse women's soccer in the conference. Not something you would think you'd say about the ACC, but ACC has gone from coast to coast. Delaney Stevens swings it to the far side. Under a minute to play at SU Soccer Stadium. Fleury applies the pressure. Mendoza sends it forward. Syracuse now just seconds away from a regular season victory to start the year, to go to 1-0 and avenge the loss last year at UMass. Almost an identical game, just flipped the roles. 2 early goals last year for the Minutewomen, 2 early goals today for Syracuse. And it's Uribe and Rauch that have the Orange on the brink of victory on opening night. One last chance for Racinos. Centers it for Podolski, sends it wide. Final seconds run off the clock. Syracuse takes down UMass. The Orange 1-0 to start 2024.
Complete game.